I probably struggled the most with body image issues and really being able to accept myself for who I was, because for the majority of my growing up years, I didn't know who I was. I didn't realize or even begin to realize who I was until I accepted Jesus. And I didn't really dive into getting to know him until I was baptized at 28. And so after that, I feel like there was, after I was baptized, there was an acceleration that happened in getting to know Jesus. And in that, there was a breaking of the body image issues, that just the battery of self-talk that went on in my head, the hateful things that I would say, how I would take whatever anyone else said about me and twist it and turn it into lies, even if they weren't meant the way that they were spoken. I twisted them in my mind, and there's a battle that goes on in there. And I learned as I was getting to know Jesus, as I was surrounded by other believers, as I was reading in the Word and learning how to communicate and pray, that is where I discovered that the war and the battle of the mind that happens. And I began to tell those thoughts that I was ugly or unworthy or too fat or not good enough or not skilled enough or not smart enough. I began to tell all of those no. I began to be able to say back who I was. In saying who you are, you begin to learn your identity and who you are in Jesus. There was a woman that I remember, a believer who spoke and said, "You are beautiful because God says you're beautiful." And I took that, and every time that I would look in the mirror and I would begin to say something hateful, I would say back, "I'm beautiful because God says I'm beautiful." Anytime someone said something to me that belittled me or made me feel discouraged or defeated, I would say, "I'm a beloved child of God." I began to know who I was, and in doing that, the stronghold, the thing that was weighing me down, that the enemy wanted to use to weigh me down with my body image, which was rooted in my past abuse, that began to break off because I knew who I was. I know who I am. And so knowing who you are allows you to have weapons to fight back that battle that we all face. Those insecurities, your self-image. You're not defined by what people say. You're not defined by what you think of yourself. You're defined by who you are in Christ. And once I was able to wrap my mind around that and get a hold of that, it changed my life. It changed my life because once I let that go, it allowed me to let so much more go. I wasn't so fixated or focused on myself anymore. It became about what God wanted. It became about how I could help and love others. That's what He wants. He wants us to love Him and to love others. So I began this passionate pursuit to do that. He wants us to be the message by the way that we live our lives. And I wanted to live mine real and raw and transparent. Jesus doesn't want you to just believe in Him. He wants you to know Him. by spending time with Him, by getting to a place where you can be honest with Him about how you're feeling and know that no matter what, He's going to accept you for who you are. So then you're set apart. You're able to embrace yourself for who you are, not by your past, not by even where you're at in this moment, but by who you are in Him. You're able to embrace that. I am an overcomer, a beloved child of God who is healed and known